Well, the three teacher trade unions have voted for an emergency motion backing industrial action, up to and including strike action if they aren't prioritised for the COVID vaccination. And this follows, of course, on from the move last week by the government, their decision to roll out vaccinations based on age rather than profession. A lot of you getting in touch with us here on the programme today. It's 53106 at a cost of 30 cents. But if you want to join us on air on Lunchtime Live this afternoon, it's 1890 453 106. Conor has got in touch with us. Conor, you are a primary school teacher in Dublin. Why did you get in touch today?
Hi Andrea. I suppose I rang in today because I was kind of a bit fed up, and a lot of my colleagues are fed up, I suppose, with the media and the INTO, I'm a primary teacher, they're my representative, but it's this idea that all teachers are mad to get a vaccine and we're disgusted and that we're bumped down the list. I can empathise completely with people who, through their own circumstance, maybe their own poor health or family members' health, who are absolutely distraught after getting bumped down the list. And you have to say, the government made a dog's dinner of that, saying one thing a couple of months ago and then changed their mind. If they went and did an age-based dole out of the vaccines at the start, fair enough, nobody would have complained. But I do think, in terms of teachers going forward, strike action is just ridiculous talk, because we're supposed to be a part of routine in children's days, the routine that's been largely lost for the last year and a half. And we shouldn't be, I suppose, threatening anybody. You know, guards and nurses can't go on strike. And for me, they're more so on the front line than us as teachers. So I'm 28. Look, I'm very lucky. I'm 28. I don't need a vaccine. I'm fairly fit and healthy. And I've nobody in my family who, you know, would be at risk majorly. Obviously I have grandparents and that, but they're after receiving their first vaccine and looking forward to their second. But I just feel like that as teachers we should be there's enough out there already in terms of public disapproval probably of teachers, or you know, I've heard it from enough people before saying, oh sure, you were home for last 2 or 3 months of last year and the summer holidays, and then you're on your Easter holidays again and you're only back. And I just think it's really badly timed by the INTO to be even talking about strike action. We should be show our, disapproval that the government changed the layout or the whatever you want to call it, the order of vaccine, the vaccines. But we can't really, what does it serve going striking? If I know it's not till September. But it's ridiculous.
Well, we just spoke there, Conor, to Thomas Byrne, the European Affairs Minister, and he made the point that the likelihood is that vast majority, if not a huge proportion of teachers, will probably be vaccinated by the time this strike is due to take place. Is there any point in this ballot?
There's none, and it's unfortunate then for the likes of myself or my other contemporaries who to be fair, we mightn't be the most active when it comes to trade unions and things, but it's our trade union who's going out then and saying teachers demand this and teachers demand that. I don't feel part of this wider teaching fraternity when those things are said. I don't feel part of this, brotherhood or sorority of teachers, and it's galling then to hear it every day, on the radios or every day on the news. And I just wanted to, I suppose, highlight the fact that we're not all, of that ilk, and we're trying.
I have to say, Conor, since we discussed this issue actually at length here on Monday on Lunchtime Live with Anne Piggott from one of the teacher trade unions, and a lot of other people got in contact with us, teachers, some very much in favour of the idea of balloting for industrial action. But the overwhelming majority of the messages that I have here in front of me in our News Talk text line today are from people. Orla, she says, I'm so embarrassed by the trade unions, the teachers. We never were due to be vaccinated before the school term ends, and now this. I'm leaving the trade union if it continues. Dara, I'm a primary teacher. I'm absolutely embarrassed by the behaviour of my colleagues. Another listener, completely agree with Conor, mortified and embarrassed to hear about this today, embarrassed to talk to friends. And these are messages, genuine messages here, 53106, and the overwhelming majority of people who text in and say they're teachers will tell us here in the station they don't want this. So I don't know, who is balloted for this move?
Well, you see, it's the way it works is every school, I suppose, like other agencies or other workplaces, every school would have a shop steward. So I suppose the shop steward would be representing the school, but a lot of the time, I don't know whether it's because of the Zoomification of the nation, or whether it's the content of the weekly meetings or the branch meetings, but it feels like those who are active in the trade union aren't on the pulse of all teachers. I'm glad to hear those texts from other teachers coming in as well. I never thought I was on my own in my opinion, but it's great to hear from other people.
No, and you're definitely not. If the text machine here is anything to go by today. Conor, stay with us. Eric's also on the line. Eric, you're a teacher in Limerick. Well, what do you think?
I think we're in for a hard one here. I'm going to defend the rights of the union and what they've done to a large extent.
That's okay.
Look, this argument, this kerfuffle over the last few days has come about because the government reneged on its promise and its commitment to teachers. Okay, that's where it came from. Teachers didn't go looking for this. And when I say teachers now, this is a broader sectorial thing. Like the government have reneged on their promises to guards, to all frontline workers, to carers, to SNA.
They're not. Hang on, Eric, the guards aren't threatening strike action. There's no guards been balloted today about this. There's no talk of the carers doing it. Like, you're on your own on this.
Look, we are on our own, but I suppose circumstances, the teaching unions are having their conference right now, so kind of circumstances dictated that this week is always teacher union week, and it just happened the week before.
I think the guards conference is on as well at the minute, actually.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
I think it is.
You might be right, I don't know. But anyway, what we've heard, or what I've actually heard, is a lot, like I posted a few tweets about this yesterday, and a lot of people actually were in a way jealous of the jobs the teacher unions are doing, teacher unions are out there fighting for their members. Now, your previous talker, Conor, he doesn't agree fully with it, but what they're doing is they're doing their job to represent teachers. Now, I do not want to go on strike. We were off for the month of January, not off, sorry, but we were at home for the month of January. We were at home for 3 months last March, April, May. I want to be back in school teaching. I'm delighted my students are fully back next week when we go back. But we got to remember that promises were broken. And if promises are broken, there's going to be a bite back. And that's what's happening now. There is a bite back against what the government done.
But the advice changed, Eric.
Excuse me?
The advice changed.
Yeah, the advice changed. But if I'm right on this, and I think I am, you might know more, the advice that NIAC gave was that it is more dangerous when someone gets the virus. The advice did not mention about how more likely teachers and frontline workers are to get it by being in an environment where, when I go back next Monday, I'll be meeting 200 students, while my wife, who's at home, will be meeting 4 people maybe in the whole day. So the advice that NIAC gave was about if someone gets the virus, they're more likely to die based on age.
Well, I thought it was if older people got it, they were more likely to be at risk.
Yeah, but the advice wasn't about the more people you meet increases the chance. That wasn't a part of the advice. And remember the TV screens, stay at home, stop the spread. We've been encouraging people to stay at home. Students got an awful doing when they were out partying in parks. Like on the papers last weekend with the nice weather, there was loads of grief given to people who were out. It's all about reducing the spread, and now that has been totally negated to go towards. And I'm not saying it's wrong, and I know we're probably moving off slightly, but for me, the government broke their promise. The teachers' unions are reacting. There's probably a whole heap of other things going on where the NQTs, the new teachers, were let down before. The unions weren't strong enough back then, and might feel this is now their chance to regain some power. There could be a whole heap of other things going on in the background. For me, that's
I know we've talked to you before here, Eric, here on the programme. You're actually you're a rep, aren't you? You're a union rep.
Yeah, I'm the school union rep. Yes, I am the school union rep.
Okay, because look, the advice on the masks at the start of COVID was there was no need to wear face masks, and then the advice changed, and we were told to wear face masks. And I suppose the advice initially was and absolutely, look, I can understand you were annoyed. There was a commitment, and the commitment was broken, or the commitment was changed, but that was based again on public health advice. And I just wonder, is there any point in this strike going ahead, or any talk of having this strike in September if the schools are finishing up in the next 7 or 8 weeks to be into the summer holidays?
Yeah.
And then you're talking about coming back and striking in September when majority of teachers are vaccinated.
Well, I suppose one way of looking at it is I think there's about 60,000 teachers in the country. If figures are to be believed, we're going to be doing 250,000 vaccines a day, or 250,000 vaccines a week in the next little while. So all the teachers in the country could be done in 2 days. All the Gardaí in the country could be done in 1 day. All the carers in the country could be done in 1 day. So this problem, it doesn't need to be a problem.